Casey Ashmore back in the studio. I'm going to talk a little bit today about family law. I'm going to talk some more about things like protective orders, which are usually one of the first steps in contested family law cases and the differences between them. And I'm also going to touch base about the difference between Title IV protective orders and just temporary restraining orders and what those exactly mean and what those initial hearings look like. There's usually a two-step process. There's a hearing, ex parte hearing, which means without the other party. And then there's a contested hearing that comes second. It's the second step. So before I jump into that, I want to again extend out our heartfelt sympathy, love, and support for this great nation of ours that is in a very troubled time. Not only are we rocking from the economic strain of the coronavirus pandemic, but we are in the midst of the highest racial tensions that our country has seen, certainly in my lifetime, probably not in parents and grandparents' lifetime, but certainly in mine. And you know, we are praying for unity, strength, solidarity, and healing. The phrase, the motto of the United States, E pluribus unum, out of many, we are one, comes to mind in this time. So that being said, protective orders, emergency protective orders, and temporary restraining orders. What is the difference between those? I'm going to delve into that in this series. And the first one I'm going to talk about is, I hope it's not the most common one, but I have a feeling in a lot of ways it is. It's known as an EPO. It is used when somebody has suffered family violence at their home. There's been an attack by a family member. Sometimes that attack involves drugs, alcohol. Sometimes involves sexual deviant conduct or sexual assault, or sometimes it involves physical abuse, physical violence. And what happens is there's a emergency call to first responders, police and fire and rescue show up, and they take the victim and the attacker and separate them. And usually the attacker is confined, jailed, what have you. And a magistrate judge, which is basically any judge wearing a black robe, a justice of the peace, can act as a magistrate to issue a EPO under the Code of Criminal Procedure. The EPO, the Emergency Protective Order, is good for 120 days. It usually has some pretty strict conditions about what the accused attacker can do regarding the alleged victims, about staying away from them, staying away from the house, staying away from the children, such that their physical and mental safety is taken care of, at least in you know, the hope is that it's taken care of, that the attacker, if they make bond, will not come back to the house because it's basically an automatic felony charge.